It was supposed to be a charming and light-hearted evening when Ryan Gosling appeared on Stephen Colbert's show, promoting his latest movie and giving fans another dose of his suave, composed persona. But what unfolded live on national television shocked both the studio audience and millions watching at home. From the start, there was a strange energy between the two. Stephen's questions were unusually sharp, and Ryan, typically calm and collected, seemed visibly annoyed. Smiles were exchanged, but tension lurked beneath the surface. As the interview progressed, that tension boiled over into a fiery confrontation no one saw coming. Things started going off track when Colbert brought up a controversy involving a previous co-star of Gosling. At first, Ryan tried to deflect the question, insisting the topic was irrelevant to his current work. But Colbert didn't back down. He pressed for more, citing recent headlines and asking how Gosling felt about the public trust placed in celebrities. That's when Gosling's demeanor shifted. "If this is the direction we're going," he said with an icy tone, "then maybe we should have discussed boundaries before I sat down." The audience gasped at his tone, unsure whether to laugh or hold their breath. Colbert, the performer, tried to lighten the moment with a joke. "Well, we all know you're great at keeping things cool, a broken bar unless we're talking emotions." The crowd gave a hesitant laugh, but Gosling didn't. "That's not funny," he said, deadpan. "You're not here to psychoanalyze me." For a split second, the room went silent. Colbert blinked, seemingly surprised by Gosling's stern response. Then, instead of backing down, he doubled down, saying, "Hey, I ask questions. You're welcome to answer them however you like." But Ryan wasn't in the mood to play along anymore. At this point, the energy was undeniably off. Gosling crossed his arms, leaning back with a mixture of irritation and disbelief. "I came here because I respect your platform," he said slowly, "but not to be ambushed by tabloid tactics." Stephen responded, "We discuss culture, and that includes how celebrities interact with it." Gosling countered, "Well, maybe culture should start with respect." The audience was now caught in a weird space between nervous laughter and complete silence. What was supposed to be a casual conversation had become a verbal standoff, and it was far from over. As the interview spiraled, Gosling took the offensive. He questioned the media's role in twisting stories and asked Colbert if he truly believed in the narratives he was pushing. "You sit behind that desk and ask tough questions," Gosling said, "but how often do you think about the weight of those questions?" Colbert tried to interject, but Gosling wasn't finished. "People's lives get destroyed by speculation, and the talk show circuit is often the amplifier." The crowd remained still. The words were hitting harder than anyone anticipated. It was a rare moment of unfiltered amnesia, and it wasn't being taken lightly. Trying to regain control, Colbert signaled a break, but Gosling refused. "No, let's keep rolling. Let's be real for once," he insisted. Cameras kept going, and the atmosphere intensified. Colbert asked, "Isn't being real what interviews are about?" Gosling smirked, "Only if you let both sides speak. Otherwise, it's just one big performance." That line hit hard. Even longtime fans of Colbert couldn't deny the imbalance. Gosling's refusal to play the typical celebrity game was clear now, and it was beginning to shake up the format of the show itself. Eventually, Colbert tried to steer things toward Gosling's new film, hoping to salvage some promotional content, but the damage was done. Gosling gave curt, clipped responses, clearly no longer interested in entertaining pleasantries. When Colbert asked what he hoped audiences would take away from the movie, Gosling replied, "Hopefully, they remember the story and not the distractions surrounding it." That reply was seen by many as a final jab at the evening's unfolding drama. At this point, producers were seen pacing near the side of the stage, clearly unsure whether to pull the plug or let it continue. The final straw came when Colbert attempted to end on a light-hearted note, asking Gosling about his family. "Let's leave my kids out of this," Ryan said sharply. "This isn't about them." The studio went quiet again. Colbert, clearly flustered, tried to recover, but Gosling stood up. "I think we're done here," he said. Without waiting for a cue, he pulled off his microphone and walked toward the exit. The audience gasped, not quite believing what they were seeing. No one had ever seen Ryan Gosling, the usually collected and diplomatic actor, walk off in such dramatic fashion. As Gosling disappeared backstage, Colbert sat in stunned silence for a moment before awkwardly transitioning to the next segment. The rest of the show carried the strange weight. The crew worked quickly to edit clips before uploading to social media, but some parts had already been captured live within minutes. Hashtags like #Gosling walks out and #Colbert Showdown were trending across Twitter and Instagram. Opinions were deeply divided. Some hailed Gosling for standing up against invasive media culture. Others criticized him for being too sensitive. The online debate quickly overshadowed anything else that had happened on late-night TV that week. The following morning, media outlets from CNN to TMZ covered the story. Editorials popped up debating whether Colbert had gone too far or if Gosling was in the wrong. Some said the incident showed the need for more authentic interviews, while others insisted celebrities need to be prepared for tough questions. Meanwhile, Gosling's team released a short statement saying, "Ryan values respectful conversation. He stands by his decision to leave the segment when that line was crossed. No apology, no backtracking, just a clear message that he felt the interview breached a line he wasn't willing to tolerate." Backstage sources later revealed that producers tried to convince Gosling to return after the segment, but he declined. He felt betrayed, one staff member said anonymously. Others on set described the atmosphere after the walk-off as tense and confusing. "You don't expect that from someone like Ryan," one crew member noted. "He's always been professional, so for him to react that way meant something was really off." That insight added fuel to public debate, with many wondering just how deep the discontent ran, and whether this was a one-time explosion or part of a larger disillusionment. In the days that followed, clips of the confrontation amassed millions of views online. Commentary videos flooded YouTube, dissecting every word and gesture. Some claimed Colbert had every right to ask probing questions, while others said he crossed the boundary. Fan support for Gosling poured in from around the globe. Many praised him for drawing a line between personal privacy and public image. Others were simply shocked to see a star known for his cool-headedness lose composure so publicly. Regardless of stance, no one could deny the impact the interview had. Colbert addressed the incident briefly on the next night's show. "Sometimes interviews don't go the way we plan," he said, attempting to move on without making it worse. He didn't name Gosling directly but noted that he respected all his guests and believed in open dialogue. For many viewers, it felt like a diplomatic non-apology. Critics of the show argued that a bigger conversation was needed about how late-night TV treats celebrities. Was it fair to put stars in the hot seat without warning, especially when promoting their work? Meanwhile, Gosling's movie saw a noticeable boost in ticket sales. Ironically, the very controversy that interrupted the promotional campaign may have been its greatest asset. Whether people agreed with his walk-off or not, they were talking about him, and about the film. Hollywood PR experts called it a viral turning point, one that highlighted both the risks and the rewards of live media exposure. More importantly, it sparked dialogue about mental health, boundaries, and the toll of public scrutiny on actors who, like anyone else, have limits. Looking back, the fiery showdown between Ryan Gosling and Stephen Colbert wasn't just a dramatic TV moment. It was a cultural flashpoint, an unexpected eruption that revealed deeper truths about the entertainment industry, celebrity vulnerability, and the complicated dance between hosts and guests. Gosling's refusal to conform to the usual script reminded audiences that even the most polished public figures are human, and Colbert's inability to de-escalate the moment showed how fragile that nightly illusion of control can be. In the end, what started as a simple interview turned into something far more unforgettable.